So say hypothetically, why do I think this isn't a hypothetical? Say hypothetically, you have a daughter who neglects practice till 30 minutes before a lesson, and the instructor thinks they spent the week practicing, so they think they can get by on raw talent. How do you motivate that hypothetically? If they're a good instructor, they'll be able to tell. Dude, I can tell instantly when my students haven't practiced. If you know your students well enough, you know. And if you, especially as a musician, because I've been through this as well, I know when I didn't practice. I know what it looks like, and I know what it sounds like. That's why it was really important to say not how good they played, how confident they were, because confidence comes from practice and rehearsal. Talent, on the other hand, obviously comes from experience. Confidence, though, if you don't practice an entire week and you slap down a book for the first time and look at it, you can tell when somebody isn't confident in their playing. I don't care how good they are. You can tell. I don't care if it's literally an instructor friend of mine who's like world-class musician. If I slap down a piece of music in front of him for the first time, he will play it differently and very noticeably, not confidently, because he's never looked at it before. Even though sight reading is important, you work on it, you get better. There's a big difference between practicing something and just naturally being good at it. See what I'm saying? Because your whole demeanor about it changes. You walk up to a drum after practicing. You walk up to the same drum after practicing on it for 100 times, as opposed to walking up to a drum you've never played on before. You will approach it differently. Now, the question was from Old Man Noob, how do you motivate somebody? You have a daughter who neglects practice till 30 minutes before a lesson. The instructor thinks they spent the entire practice. Anyways, to give it over. How do you motivate that? Hypothetically, the instructor probably knows that they didn't practice, whether they say it or not. How do you motivate that? Motivation comes from within. It's very hard to get other people motivated. It has to come from within. You have to start with number one, if procrastination is an issue, you have to find a way to negotiate practice time at regular intervals. So like make it part of a routine as much as possible. For example, and I try to make it bite-sized, because this is the fun thing to do. You tell somebody you only have to practice for 5 minutes. Once 5 minutes is up, you can be done. Doesn't matter if you're done practicing, you can be done. I'll usually say 15. I'll be like 15 minutes. That's it. You can do 15 minutes a day. Just make sure you get 15 minutes in and you're good to go. A great time to practice would be like right after school before you play video games. And I'd say, and I would usually tell the student too, I'd be like, and it's probably important, like you let your parents or you let somebody know that'll hold you accountable to that. And I make it relatable, because I'm like, I used to practice too. I had a really hard time keeping a schedule. It's good to have somebody else keep you accountable. And again, that's genuine. That was a struggle for me. So keep somebody, have somebody that's like, that you tell, that this is what I want to stick to, and try to help me out as much as you can. But make it achievable. Like, that's what I'm saying. Make it extremely achievable. 15 minutes. 15 minutes, 5 times a day. Take 2 days off. Boom. Be like Monday through Friday. Right when you get back from school, before you start getting ready for soccer practice, whatever, you start working on homework, practice for 15 minutes. What happens more often than not is they end up practicing way more than 50 minutes. That's usually what happens. That's at least for procrastinators, because I'm definitely a procrastinator, and I think I've for most of my life I've figured out how to not do that. And again, it's just to start it. Starting is the hard thing. That's the big thing. Once you start, it's easy to keep going. So with that mindset in mind, which you can do with anything. If you know somebody that's a procrastinator, you are a procrastinator. Getting started is the hard part. Once you get started, it's easy to just keep going and going and going and going. So the goal is to trick yourself into starting, so it makes it seem less daunting of a task. So like when I want to stick to like a yoga schedule or like a lifting schedule or something, when I want to get like healthy again, I'm not even kidding. This is what I tell myself. I tell myself, all right, I have to sit down and I have to at least do 5 minutes of yoga, or even, I might even say less than that. I have to do at least like 2 minutes of yoga just to get moving. If I want to keep going, I can keep going. That's fine. But I have to make sure in my routine, I at least do 2 minutes. Ideally, I'd like to do the whole 30 minutes. But at least 2 minutes. If I do the 2 minutes, I can close that day being like, all right, well, I at least did my 2 minutes. That's an achievable goal. And what you'll find is that you do it longer, you keep up with that routine longer, because every single day there's a little bit of wiggle room, right? So it's like, you're like, oh my God, I'm exhausted. I literally can't do yoga today. I'm so exhausted. And then in your head, you're like, dude, it's 2 minutes. I'll do my 2 minutes and then I'll be done. That's what happens. And on days you're genuinely like exhausted, you'll do it and then you'll stop at 2 minutes. You're like, I'm too tired to keep going. But this is what will happen when you are when you're well rested and you're feeling like more up to it. And you'll be like, all right, 2 minutes, and I'll be done. There's going to be like a time where like you do the 2 minutes and you're like, I'm kind of enjoying this. And then you keep going, right? So it's kind of the way of, instead of like setting these hard goals on yourself, making it something you can be consistent with. Because the consistency is the important part here. Maintaining a consistent way of improving yourself is much more important than just doing bursts, right? It's the same reason I tell my students, don't practice 5 hours once a week. Practice 15 minutes, 7 days a week. You practice half the time and you get more out of it. Because honestly, consistency pays off way more than just learning. You know, if you practice concepts a little bit at a time, it's going to pay off more in the end than it will if you just do a bunch of it all at once. Because your brain doesn't work like that. Your brain makes connections while you sleep, right? If you know that, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, while you sleep, your brain makes connections from things you learn that day. Like while your brain's resting, it sinks in. It starts, these connections are actually made. That's why the next day, it's a little bit easier. Great example of this, I hate to go back to video games. A great example of this is when you play, if you guys have ever played a game where you're stuck on a boss and you play it for like 3 hours, repeating and going and playing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and you're frustrated like crazy. You're like, why the fuck can I not beat this? And then eventually you have to give up. You go to sleep, whatever, you go through your day, you come back, and you're like, all right, I'll give it another shot, and you beat it first try. Literally, if you're in chat and that's happened to you before, let me know. Because guess what? That's not a crazy concept at all. That actually is what happens. Your brain makes connections while you're sleeping, and then boom, ha-cha. All of a sudden you can do it. Although it doesn't work like this though. It doesn't work like I'm gonna learn a bunch of stuff in one day and sleep, and the next day I'll know all of it. It doesn't work like that. You have to have repetition. So that's what I'm saying. You do the same thing over and over and over again, kind of tweaking a little bit. You do the repetition, okay, which again, repetition, especially for musicians, is really important. Repeat, blah, 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 blah. Go to sleep, make connections. Boom, learned it. Repeat, get better. Sleep, boom. That's why the consistency is so important. And I think it's like I think it's a mental thing as well. So, I don't know. I have one daughter who practices all the time but lacks confidence. The other practices guitar, ukulele when she's supposed to be doing piano, but it exudes confidence in most things. I will consider what you say and how to implement. Yeah, go for it. Again, I don't know your kids. You know them the best. I'm saying as a teacher, if I were to run into that, again, there's a lot of variables. If I knew your daughter more on like on a personal level, I'd get a better vibe for it, because there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. They're not always like that. There's times where they'll knock it out of the park, without me saying anything, too. And it was more so that the past month they were having a rough time. Again, is fine. It's still a missed opportunity. For example, I think they were having some family stuff going on. Nobody died, but there was like some family issues going on. And I was like, I get that. I was like, it's totally fine. It's totally fine to have a day that just sucks. It's totally fine to have a day that sucks. I said, just be very careful. The next day, I don't care if you're still if you're still feeling like poopy and stuff like that, do it anyways. Like, don't let this is what I said, don't let your life go by like waiting for a time when you feel good enough to do stuff. There's gonna be times where you're sad. I'm saying you gotta start working on just doing it anyways. Like, just get started. And I say a lot of times when you start doing stuff, it makes you feel better, right? Like when you're feeling depressed on a day, which again, this year is I've probably had my first run in with depression in my life this year. 26. I never understood it, and now I do. And honestly, the days when I'm feeling a little bit more depressed, probably because COVID, and I just, there's a lot of stuff I want to do. The days I'm feeling the worst, it's really hard to get started. But I force myself to either practice piano, which I'm trying to relearn piano again. I know it, but my fingers suck at it again. I'm relearning piano daily. And the days where I just really don't feel like practicing, I just force myself to do it anyways. Again, today I practiced for maybe 5 minutes. Other days I practice for 2 hours. It all just depends on how my mood is, but I stay consistent with it. And it makes me feel better about my day. Honestly, I feel the fact that I practiced piano, did my scales for 5 minutes today, I can go to bed tonight and be proud that I did that I maintained consistency. I don't care that I didn't learn anything. I sat down at the piano and practiced, And I kept that consistency. So I'm saying like make goals achievable. Did I have a lot of time today? I had time to practice more for sure. Was I tired? Oh my God, I was extremely tired today. I did not want to sit down and practice, but I sat down, practiced my scales, did a little bit, still felt really exhausted, so I stopped playing. And that's it. Honestly, if I would have forced myself further than that, I probably wouldn't have learned anything either because I was still feeling exhausted. So I can go to bed happy. I can get some rest and hit the next day running, you know? I don't know. That's why I love teaching. This is what I'm saying. I love being a teacher because this stuff is really rewarding for me. I get a lot of fulfillment. And I feel like I have purpose when I teach a lot because it's something I like to see other people succeed. Like that breakthrough moment for my students. I want to see that like so often. You know, that's what I strive for because it makes it all worth it when that happens. I have a couple of my students that are going through a breakthrough moment right now. They're almost there. So I'm excited. But yeah, for old man, consistency. And the best thing you can say, old man, for the best advice I can give you is don't make it seem like you're telling them what to do. Just tell them how it is. Just tell them how it is. Just be like, you know, I just don't want you to miss your opportunity, you know? And don't say that I said anything like you talked to an instructor or whatever. Just like inspiration has to come from within. It's the same reason that you can't convince somebody from a different political perspective what to think, right? That probably happens 0.00001% every year. Inspiration has to come from within. So the best thing you can do is try to remind them of where they want to be. Because it honestly, for what is it? 30 minutes before, what was it? She's supposed to be doing piano. Okay, so she's practicing piano, which by the way, I do piano lessons too. Small plug. No. Totally just told them you said. Never mind. What was I getting at? Inspiration comes from within. Ask them what their goals are. Like that's I have like a whole sheet that I do. If I'm ever noticing one of my students are like struggling to stay motivated, or I'm just getting the feeling that they're not practicing, it's not really a sheet. I'll have a sheet and I make sure I ask these questions when I talk to them because again, I want it to be organic in you know, a normal interaction. So I talk to them and I'm like, I just wanted to revisit where you want to be. Cause like what your goals are as a musician, or for example, piano, where you want to be with piano. Like when you picture yourself playing piano, where do you see yourself being? You know, like what do you want to become, out of it? And this can differ. And a lot of times it's going to be hard for them to answer. So you can give them a little like probe questions. Like, you want to play for a band? Do you just want to be able to play? Do you just want to be able to know how to play it? Because you think it's fun and it's a nice skill to have, and like you could play stuff for like family gatherings and for friends and stuff. Do you want to go somewhere with piano? Because again, the goals will reflect what kind of routine that they're gonna have, and that you try to help them with as an instructor. And I'll always tell them like, okay, and they'll let me know kind of what it is. After a while, you start to get an idea of what they're trying to say, and then you say, all right, well, like as your instructor, it's my job to help you get where you want to go. Like, it's not my job to like scold you when you don't do things right or whatever. My job is to guide you on where you want to go, and it's your job to put in the work, you know, and it's my job to make sure you're in the right direction on where you want to go to help you get that way. Like that's what my job is. You know, if you work on your stuff without any direction, you might end up where you might be going in a direction you don't want to go. So it's my job as your instructor to do that. I was like, the problem is, at least with that, and I was like, if you're not putting in any in the work that like both of us know, like the more work you put in, the more you're going to be able to get to that goal. If we don't have that work in there, we're going to be crawling towards where you want to go. Like it's going to take forever to get there. So I'll be like, you can bring whatever you want each week. And I'll guide you regardless. It's just going to be tougher for me. That's usually what I'll say is like, it's going to be tougher for me to guide you. And I was like, and I bring this up whenever I'm really feeling like they might not want to do music. I'll say this. I'll ask them, I'll be like, are you sure you want to do music? Are you sure you want to do piano? Because again, I'm there for them. I don't care about the paycheck that much. I mean, obviously I need a paycheck, but, it's more important that I'm not wasting their time. Cause I'm like, honestly, if you don't want to do music, like we're wasting like each other's times. And I'm like, it's completely okay. You know, people change on what they want. It's okay. Like you can tell me if you want to, and we'll try to work with, you know, I might even try to help you like figure out what you want to do. And it's like, I don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste my time. So like, let's just figure it out. And like 9 times out of 10, they'll be like, no, I still want to do music. I'm like, okay, like great. I'm like, just, you know, like if you ever feel like you don't want to do music, you can let me know. Like, it's not going to upset me. It shouldn't upset your parents either. We're human, you know, we do what we want to do. And it's really hard for us to work on something we don't want to do, you know? That's what I'm saying. I get really real with my students. And yeah, 9 times I don't think I've ever had a student quit after those conversations. The next time they bring it, you know, they bring what they're supposed to bring. And I positively reinforce it. I'm like, yes, this is awesome. I get to throw more stuff at you. I'm so excited. I'm like, bring this every week. This is great. Yeah. And then we get back on track. And we're humans. There's going to be times where we're just like, I don't know if I want to do this still. God, the amount of times I've questioned on whether I want to be a music teacher. God, all the time. And then I teach and then I realize, oh yeah, that's right. I love doing this. They're being taught by a family where the dad graduated from Juilliard, but they're with the daughter until they exceed her ability. The diligent one does orchestra. Like the person going to Juilliard right now. Diligent one does orchestra and considers teaching an option. The other one wants to be a street performer. Yeah, again, that's what I'm saying. Inspiration has to come from within. And I hope you don't shut down this street performer thing. Because again, you as a father, you're probably like, I don't know if I want her to be a street performer. Trust me, they're probably not going to be a street performer. Not because they won't. They'll, after doing music for a while, they'll realize that that's just something. But it's important never to shut down an idea, like what you want to do. Because what you do is you learn that craft along the way. And what happens is you realize the potential you have with that craft, and they end up diverging to something more realistic. Never shut that down. God, no, probably either A, they don't become a street performer and they end up doing something a little bit more practical with that, or B, they become the heckin' best street performer ever and make a killing. And then you know, and then you get to be the dad that supported that dream. You know, never try to always be supportive as long as it's something that can be healthy. Street performing, I don't think there's anything unhealthy about being a street performer. So being supportive is the important thing. Because the moment that you're not, then it becomes like a sense of like having to prove something, you know. And then they're doing it for the wrong reasons, you know. They're doing it because they want to prove somebody wrong, which isn't the right way to do it. You want to do something because it's going to make you happy. And a lot of times that can get blinded by our sense of judgment on what we want. I mean, I know there's different styles of teaching and stuff. And I hate, like, I don't really consider, I didn't go to school for teaching. I've just been teaching a lot, and I find a lot of enjoyment out of doing it. The amount of teachers I see that are, number one, graduated and just like doing it wrong. Like, again, you're entitled to your opinion on teaching, but there's teachers that are just straight up doing it wrong, you know? And they're definitely hurting their students more. That's what I'm saying. Teaching is one of those professions where like it weeds out the fake teachers pretty quick. The ones that stay doing it are usually, because it's not a lot of money, right? There has to be something else other than monetary value that keeps you there. And the teachers that stay, I actually talked to another teacher about this recently. The thing that keeps you there is the fact that you get fulfillment out of actually helping students. And it's not some like goody two-shoe thing. It's like there's value in that makes it worth it for us. Like we feel better as human beings for that, so we take a reduced pay. And that's why, like, I'll see teachers that do that. I'm like, they're not gonna last. You're in the wrong profession. You should be doing, and again, not everybody should be a teacher. Not everybody's built for being a teacher. Just like I'm not built to be a freaking, maybe I am a lawyer. Maybe I could be a lawyer. No, a salesman. I am not built to be a salesman at all. I figured that out pretty quickly. I can't sell. It's hard for me to phrase, because a lot of times selling something is, you know, a good salesman will, you know, it's not going to sell somebody something that's not going to have any value. A good salesman will take value to a customer and make them realize it's a lot more valuable than what it was originally to them, right? So it's not deceiving. It's more of phrasing something in a way, which is really good. On the other hand, I take things like it really at face value and see how much value it is to them. You know, it's really hard for me to phrase things in a way that's like, this is better than what you thought it was, which again is a good skill to have. It's very good to be persuasive. Being persuasive isn't always bad. Not. I think a good salesman, I've been encountered by some good salesmen that ended up me spending a lot more money on stuff, but the thing they sold me had a lot more value, and it still, I would say it still does. And I told them they're really good salesmen. I would tip some people too for helping me. I love those teachers that make the lesson fun so you remember what they talk about. Yeah, and fun. I mean, having fun is important too. I feel like a lot of teachers though, you know what I'm talking about too. The teachers that are like, all right guys, we're gonna be doing this, but we're gonna be doing a fun exercise today to accompany it. And you're like, oh. A lot of teachers focus way too much on making everything fun. This is my approach. Be real. Like honestly, just be honest. Be honest with your students. Don't try to trick them into anything. Because trust me, kids are way smarter than you think, dude. My God. My when I did an after school program with like 3rd and 4th and 5th graders, these kids were genius. Oh my God, they could see through everything. And you could see it, like there was no fooling them. And I remember being a kid too and seeing that. So like I again, this is probably where I learned my most about being genuine with my students, was this after school program that was paying me like $10 an hour. I was literally straight up honest with my kids about everything. I wouldn't treat them like kids. I would talk to them like I would any other person that I was like there to like monitor and teach. I would honestly talk to them like on my level, not in like expecting a mature response, but I would talk to them like, hey, like what's up, you know, and I just treat them with respect, you know. I'm saying kids can sense respect for sure, and I'd make sure I just respected them, and like when they weren't respecting me, I'd let them know. I'd be like, hey, I kind of feel like you're not respecting me. Like you don't really care. You don't really care as much what I have to say. That kind of hurts my feelings. I was like, I don't think you actually don't care what I have to say. I'm just saying that's what I feel like. And a lot of times they'll be taken aback by how honest I was with them. I'd be like, I'm just being for real, you know? I'm like, I'm here to make sure you guys are safe and to teach you. And I'm like, I want to be able to do that, you know? It's like I'll be like, yeah, I care about you guys. But I was like, it makes me sad. It makes me sad when you guys don't take what I like, when I feel like disrespected, like you guys don't care what I have to say. I was like, that's not true, is it? And then you'd be like, no. I was like, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that either. That's why I was like, that's just why I was a little like, I wouldn't say upset, but that's why I was a little just worried about what, you know. I'm sounding like I'm talking to him like a little kid. One of my teachers either does these fun but thoughtful lessons, and the next day he did a bit more serious, which was a weird switch, but nice change of pace. That's what I'm saying. Way too many teachers try to make everything fun. They're like, oh, I gotta make this fun so the kids like it, you know, and they learn. It doesn't always have to be fun. It just has to be honest, you know. You just have to be real with the kids and be like, yo, this might not be fun. I was like, we can try to make it, but I'm gonna try to do something. We can try to make it fun. I'd love to do it. And a lot of times I'll ask my students, does this seem fun? I'd be like, you can be honest, just let me know. If you guys want to do something else, you'd rather just do it the normal way? I'm saying way too many teachers are like prideful. They're like, my method is right. Or like I do it this way and like, that's it. You know? It's like not open to criticism from kids. Like just ask the kids. You like it? Like, was this fun for you guys? And I always say, be honest, because kids are conditioned. I'm not even kidding. Kids are conditioned to respond to what they think you want to hear, right? You're like, do you guys like it? I'd be like, yeah. I'd be like, but I'd always be like, you guys can be honest. Like, if you guys hated it, just say it'd be like, nah, I think we'd rather do the other time. It's not going to hurt my feelings at all. I want to make sure it's fun for everybody. I always preface it like that too. I don't usually get somebody that's like, I kind of liked it. It was all right. Be like, that's fine. I mean, I'm sure not everybody liked it. I'm just saying, I feel like there's the teachers that take things way too personally and don't actually listen to their students are the ones that are going to get burnt out and really angry. They're the really angry ones. The ones that are the people that are, again, the philosophy that oh my God, I love this. I wish I had some of my drumline students in here because they could answer exactly. I miss having my drumline students in here. We had a few, again, we would have few drumline students in here. Let me read these real quick. Yeah, this is not where the cool kids hang out, by the way. Could you point me in the right direction? Yeah, go to Beaver stream. I would have thrown your scrim. Nah, the scrim was shit anyways. Ended up being really shit scrim. So I'm kind of glad you didn't take it. Transparency is key for coaching and teaching. It is. I agree. Our teachers use the slogan, it's my way or the highway. Also true. This is a lot of the teachers that I ran into. It wasn't until my high school years. Yeah. Oh my God, I actually have Red in here. Fuck yeah. All right. Red's graduated now. I can curse. This is fun. So Red was one of my drumline students. Fantastic. Okay, this is very perfect. We're talking about teaching styles. So, all right, Red, what's a teaching, what's something that I would say? Let's just start this. What's something that I would say a lot? I'm not going to phrase it any way other than that. What's something, if you were to classify my style of teaching from your experience, how would you define it? Also saying please and thank you to a kid goes a long way. Yeah, because they don't expect it. They rarely expect getting thanked for things. Dude, I said dude to my students all the time. And I like to use the word I like to use the word shit sometimes with my students in small groups. And like not like just literally just to like become more relatable. Red might notice that every now and then. I'll just introduce it like a little bit in there and act like I didn't say anything to the kids. I won't make it like a big deal. I'll just introduce some curse word into there and just keep going. Just to be more relatable. You would repeat what you want us to work on over and over again. Yes. And I'll explain that too. Setting up students for success is important. Making sure that they know exactly what they have to do. So when they get there, they know that they achieved it, and then recognizing that achievement. I did. I repeated. There was a word as well. I forget. Treating people with respect does. Adults teach kids to say please and thank you, but never use it back to kids. That bugs the shit out of me too. Whenever I see teachers disrespecting kids, I have this allergy to hypocrisy. It drives me nuts. I try to be the least amount of a hypocrite as I can, but when I see it in other people, immediately it just makes me like them so much less. Even if it's something like a teacher saying, you need to say thank you for that. And then kids doing something like coming into class and putting their backpacks under their seats or something, or like sitting there and like not like going around and stuff like that. And then the teacher's not saying thank you for things that they asked him to do. I'm like, dude, you're teaching these kids nothing. You have the same allergy. I really, really hate it when teachers have a favorite student and like everyone in the class knows that because they're favorite. Now they should be just like that kid. It pisses me off. This is what I'm going to say. Careful with that. I don't think that teachers should treat everybody the same. And here's why. A student that exemplifies what I look for in students, I do want to put that student more on a pedestal. Okay. Flip side of that, a student that doesn't exemplify what I'm looking for, I don't want to put them up on a pedestal. See what I'm saying? So I don't want to scold people that aren't doing what I want to ask. What I do is I put the kids that are doing what I'm asking up on a pedestal. And then the ones that aren't doing it, I'll usually have a private conversation with, if it's getting out of hand. But usually what happens is when I start making examples of the kids that are doing things right, the kids that are doing it wrong will notice it. Number one, they're not going to feel like they're being embarrassed by not doing it, but they have this internal monologue that goes, oh, that's what they're looking for. And then they're getting more attention from the teacher. Whether you want to admit it or not, kids that are learning want attention from the teacher for sure. As they want to be reinforced that they're doing the right thing. What I do is students that are doing it like all the time, I go out of my way to make sure I let them know, yes, this is awesome. You're doing a great job. Thank you for doing what I asked. And then the ones that didn't do it, I won't say anything about it. I'll address them like I will everybody else outside of that. But the kids that are doing things the right way, I always put them up on a pedestal. Because then what happens is the other kids make that an example. Okay. Whether they want to admit it or not, they're like, oh, they're sucking up to the teacher. It's like, whether they know it or not, they're learning what I want, you know? And it's a way easier way to do it. Why weren't you my teacher? I didn't go to teaching school. And I'm also like your age. Yeah, it means so much. Guess what? Little advice too. I struggle with this all the time. Doing this with your peers and with your family. Imagine this. And again, this would break. Oh my God, this would hit me so hard. If like a friend of mine came up to me and said, hey dude, like honestly, this is already getting me worked up. If a friend of mine like texted me or called me and said, hey dude, thank you for being awesome. Like, I love that you're my friend, and it like means a lot. You've always been nice to me, and like you're a huge influence on me. Like, holy shit. As a friend, you know, like you don't really think about that because you're like, yeah, they're our friends, you know, we don't, especially for guys, we don't do that. But it's like, damn, that would hit hard, you know? Like, think about how much that would mean to your friend. Now take that from a teacher, from somebody that's in a power position, and then says that to you. About how much more that means too. Frozen, Frozen and I wouldn't say we talk that often. We've known each other for a while though. Like even getting that from somebody that's I would say, you know, between like Frozen and I, that would mean a lot, right? Like for example, a private DM, which I probably should do, which I've done this before. Message Fitzy, okay? And say, hey dude, I love what you're doing. You're such an influence, and I think I said this for his birthday thing. I love that I can say that you're like the face of the Overwatch community. Like that means a lot. You're a great influence for a lot of people out there. Keep doing what you're doing. And I appreciate it. I'm glad that I can say that I'm in that community with you. I don't make it about me at all. I make it the fact that I'm proud that he is, like, I put him up. You know what I'm saying? I prop him up. I don't say, hey, I love that I can say I'm your friend. It's so much fun to be around you. Which again is nice, but it's like, you prop him up. You be like, yo, you're awesome for everybody else. Like outside of me too. Like you're a great influence for everybody. Fantastic. You're a nice guy. You're genuine. Like, boom, you know, imagine how much that means. And imagine how much more that means in a private setting, like just messaging out of nowhere. Just like, boom, that's it. For anybody, that means a lot. Where were we? Oh yeah, it feels great. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the toughest guy out there, dude. Getting a message from somebody you care about like that, or just care about a little bit, is a lot. It takes a lot. I started doing this lately. You guys might like this. So I started journaling. You guys know journaling. It's good, whatever. But the thing I love, the thing that's making it easier for me to journal every day, I have a spot every time. Well, I list the things I want to do. I make sure I practice music. I make sure I exercise. I make sure I do something that keeps my hygiene up, you know, out of the ordinary. Something that I go above and beyond for my hygiene to keep myself healthy. And then make sure I read a little bit. But there's a spot in there. My favorite spot. I love this. Is who did I make a positive impact on today? You know, who in my life did I make a positive impact on? And what's happened is I'm looking for opportunities throughout my day, not disingenuinely. I'm spotting opportunities, you know, that are more often. So I'm positively reinforcing the people that are in my life more often now. And what will happen is at the end of the day, I have multiple things that I want to write, and I'm like, I have to pick one, which sucks. But it's getting to that point, and I'm feeling a lot better about myself too, you know, because I've been struggling a lot with. I've talked to you guys about before is I've been struggling with not self-worth. I've just been struggling. I'm not where I want to be, and I can't do anything about it right now with COVID going on. It's really hard to do what I want to do. So, which is making me feel like I'm like stuck, you know, and I'm feeling less worth, you know. So like what I'm doing is trying to make myself feel better by making others feel better. So not like in a like take and receive thing, but it's like I'm just like I just need to focus more on making other people feel better because I know that makes me feel better too. But that can't be the root cause of me doing it. Like I honestly just want to. I would like if a byproduct of helping the people I love makes me feel better, that's great. But I'm like I need to focus on lifting other people up more, less about me. Other stuff will come in life, but that needs to be there. So. It sucks. All right, where were we at? Yo, is Red still here? Red, are you still here? What are we talking about? We're doing a late night heart-to-heart talk. Whenever we go into just chatting and we just do this, we always it always diverges into a heart-to-heart talk. Whenever we do any like just watching YouTube videos, you can always message me. You didn't know. That's what I'm saying, dude. I was so glad that I got to talk to you today. And even Purple, the fact that I responded to one of Dunn's tweets made me feel better. Because I rarely get on Twitter because I don't like social media. But I was on social media so I could respond to a friend that I haven't talked to in a while. And like just even responding with like a little goofy thing to Dunn's thing made me feel a lot better. I was like, damn, I haven't talked to him in forever. Okay, Red. Question. Trying to question. I'm gonna start a phrase. You fill it in with whatever you want. Okay, I would say this to Drumline. I think I said this to Red too. I think it was around that time. All right, you ready? I don't get mad. I get even. Oh no, you talked to me, but no, you're fine. I didn't feel rushed at all. Which, by the way, I have the edit done. I'm waiting on Caroline to send me the B-roll stuff. We have the edit done for this thing. I'm not gonna say anything about it. I don't want to pump it up too much. It's fun. I love it. I think it turned out great. It was fun getting to include other people in it. The B-roll looks so good. I knew it would, dude. She seems so enthusiastic to She seemed so enthusiastic to do it. I was like, oh my god, she's gonna make it look fantastic. And that's another, dude. That's what I'm saying. A lot of times I like to be very individual in what I do. I usually don't have other people help me too much. The fact that Caroline offered to help today, and I got super excited about that, tells me that what I'm doing is helping with what I do. Because a lot of times I'll be like, no, I just want to work on myself. I want to do my own thing. Oh my god, I got so excited. Holy shit, I got so excited. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be so good. And that got me super excited to make the video even better too. I was like, well, damn, if Caroline's gonna put in some good B-roll, I'm like, dude, I gotta make this edit crisp. And it is a good edit. And I want to show you guys on stream, but I want to wait for the B-roll. I want to do it right. I don't want to show the half-baked product and then throw Caroline's stuff in it. So I'll show it all together. The promo looks great though. I love it. I'm really proud of it. Earn a degree in order to do surgery and flex tape that bone. Boom. Caroline's a film major, bruv. She barely gets to use it. I know, which sucks. Sucks. To be honest, I don't really remember what I used to say from that phrase. It's been a couple years. Oh, you're fine. You're fine. I wouldn't say I said it every day. I would say it when people weren't listening to me. Because a lot of times when frequently when you would ask students to do something and they would repeatedly not do it, a lot of times teachers would get pissed. And I remember being a student and I remember that it just didn't working under a teacher getting pissed off at the students, everyone gets quiet and then it's a little bit awkward for a little bit. That doesn't make people perform better, in my opinion. It doesn't make people learn better. They stop doing what they were supposed to do, but it's internally, I don't think there's anything. What I would say is, I don't get mad. I was like whatever. I'm not gonna get mad at you guys. I'm not gonna yell. This is what I would tell my group of students. I'm not gonna yell at you guys. I don't got time for that. I'd be like, my day's stressful enough. I don't need to introduce getting mad at students. So I say, now what I will say, yeah. I was like, what I will say is if I ask you guys to do something and you don't do it, then there is just going to be a negative consequence to it. I'm not going to get upset about it. I'm just going to, and I lay out exactly what'll happen. I'd be like, if we don't do this, this will happen. I'm not going to get mad about it. I'm just saying that'll happen. So when it does happen, you guys won't be surprised, right? So for example, if you guys don't really buckle down on this thing, we're gonna end up having to do this after lunch also, which means we won't have time to work on drill. So I'll have to take you guys away from drill to work on this more. Now would I ever be able to do that? Hell no. Once drill's out, dude, students are out there doing it. I don't care. I would have no power to do that. But I'll let my students know. I'll be like, yo, if we don't buckle down on this, like I'll have to take you guys out from drill. I don't really want to do that. Like, I want you guys to learn drill so we can keep up with everybody else. And I'm like, but if we don't buckle down, I mean, I'm not going to get mad. That's just what's going to happen, you know? So that's why I'm always real. That's what I'm saying. I'm really real. Yeah, exactly. I'm just real. I'm just honest. That's not really being honest, but it could be. I could totally go up to the people in charge and be like, dude, they weren't, it was just tough. I gave them the option and said, if we don't buckle down on this won't happen. Can I take him out for just like 10 minutes just so they get the idea? They would say, yeah, of course. But, I wouldn't take him away from that anyways. Drill's much harder to get anyways. You need as much time on drill as you can get. Yeah, but that was it. So I wouldn't like yell at kid. I would just that's what I'm saying. Treating them like people, like just straight up people, you know, they're not kids anymore. I'm telling you, scolding doesn't work after kids are like 3. I don't think you should scold kids anyways at any point, but I don't think you should reinforce negative responses at all. So like if you're seeing that, yeah, students are people. They're just tiny adults. I mean, what made me realize this, I think, is what my upbringing was really helpful in this. My parents were great people. They were. They argued all the time, and they were people. Kids are also secretly lizards, and we all need to watch out for this. And my God, if you see one of them, report them to the U.S. government, please. For real though, my parents were people though, and what I know, I realize this is like probably a middle school, early high school. My parents were arguing a lot, and I realized, yo, my parents, I fooled myself because I thought I was way more mature than I was. As a kid, I was like, dude, my parents are kind of immature because they would argue about really stupid stuff. I'd be like, why are you arguing about this? I've always been like that though. I've always been like mild, like very mild. And I'll be like, yo, you guys, this is really stupid stuff you're arguing over. And I'm it like donged at me. I'm like, dong, dinged, dong, bonged, rang, whatever. I realized that my dawned. Yes, thank you, Lordy. It dawned on me. Bonged on me. It dawned on me that my parents are arguing about the same stuff like my friends are arguing about, or like the same drama that I see in high school. And I started noticing it from other people. I'm like, dude. And then I heard the phrase like adults are just grown up kids, you know? And that actually, like, I was like, whoa, that's actually like really true. So then as I got older, especially teaching, I started realizing that I was kind of turning into that too. And I started putting a stopper on that. I was like, no. I was like, no. I remember how smart kids can be at that age. I was like, I'm just gonna treat them. I'm just gonna be real, be honest, treat them with respect, and expect respect in return. I also tell that to my kids too. I was like, it's important that I treat you guys with respect. You know, you guys are important just as much as me. We both have jobs here. My job is to guide you guys. Your job is to put in the work. Okay. So there's respect on both sides that are needed. And that's what I'm saying. I have these same conversations with my kids that I talk to you guys about, for sure. I'm saying it's a lot of heart to heart. And then when we need to do it, I reference back on it. Definitely. So they know exactly what I'm talking about, that I care about them. You said reference. When you get to be in your mid-20s or start doing adult things, you'll quickly find out that people who you thought knew what they were doing just are making it up as much as everyone else. Yeah, exactly. And I think it's the quicker you realize that you're doing it also, you know? Like, you're also just not making it up as you go along, but like, you're figuring it out. Everyone's figuring it out. Always. Thank you, Red. You're a great student, dude. All my students are great. I don't think I ever had a bad student. I had students that struggled more, for sure. Whether it was emotionally or technically, or they struggled. But I don't think I've ever had a student that I didn't think wanted to succeed, right? And I think when I come across a student that really just doesn't want to succeed, I'll just be real with them. I'll be like, you probably shouldn't. Actually, no, we did have one. We did have one student that I had to tell, like, maybe you shouldn't do music. I could just tell they didn't want to do it. You just gotta be real. I mean, it's better for them. You gotta, having kids do something they don't want to do, like deep down, that's not good. Yo, Flame, thanks for the follow, by the way. Appreciate it. No, that's what I'm saying. I love teaching. I feel like I have like this personal, whether I know it or not, I feel like I have this personal mission when I'm teaching to right the wrongs of the teachers that I had, you know, which again, I had some really good teachers. My band director when I was in high school I'm not even kidding, taught me everything I know about teaching. Just crazy. Being a student, a teacher teaching you how to teach. Which, man, dude, I wish I could get Larry Welsh on stream. Maybe when COVID's up, I can bring him on to have like a talk or something. Put it up on YouTube. Because, man, this guy knew a lot. He taught for 35 years, and he taught me about how his philosophy on teaching changed from when he started, from where he was now. And what the important thing is looking for growth in students. And he didn't say musically. He said looking for growth in students. And he said music is a catalyst for growth. I was like, holy shit. And then I realized, man, this guy, because I thought Larry like really cared about me. That's why he put so much effort into it, which he did care about me. But no, it was his method of teaching made me realize like there was a sense of respect. You know, like he did respect me. I respected him, and it made me feel really valuable to him. You know, even though I think he cared about all his students equally. You know, it resonated more with me than others. So that's right. That's at least I think that immediately I went into teaching. He hired me literally the year. So I graduated 2013, June of 2013. I started teaching there August of 2013. I started teaching 4 Oak Hills. Then I picked up Mason and some other schools, some other smaller schools. And even if I don't be a teacher, that's why Twitter post, holy shit. I did my first, I think this is what's bringing this up for the most part. Zoom call with him. I would love to get that set up. He would totally be down for it. It's been a while. I don't consider any student. I really wish I would continue playing since I've left high school. No, that's fine. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to continue music. The stuff, that's what I'm saying. Music is a catalyst, especially in high school, for what carries you over outside of school. I am the only person in my drumline. The only person in my 4 years of playing in drumline, the only person who still actively plays and teaches or does anything related to that for like work. I'm the only one. And the people that I played with were very passionate about drumline. So I'm saying like the fact that I still teach music and still play is an anomaly for real. The stuff you learn through music is huge. And so that's at least it's a catalyst. I could teach anything. I don't have to teach music. I love music. I could teach anything. You guys know when I was teaching Overwatch stuff, how passionate I got about teaching Overwatch stuff. I don't think it's about how you're teaching. I think it's using learning as a method to teach people how to be people, I guess. Or growth. Yeah, it's more about the growth. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's less about what you're teaching and more about growth for an individual. So feeling like getting growth out of somebody. Yeah, you could do it with anything. I don't think it's the most important thing is what you teach. I think it is how you teach, for sure. And it's usually what we're passionate in. The teacher, if we have a good teacher and the thing we're passionate about, they usually end up being the biggest influence, right? On the rest, at least from outside of that. So, like you guys are probably thinking about a teacher right now that you had. The stuff they taught, you were very passionate about, right? Either A, you were passionate when you went in, or B, the way they taught made you passionate about it. It's the same reason I think I like history so much is because all my teachers that taught history were really good people. They were very transparent, very upfront, very blunt. All of them were extremely blunt, and I loved it. Because they talked to me like, they treated me with respect. I mean, just like a normal person. They didn't try to hide anything or ruse me into learning or whatever. It was nice. I don't consider any student a bad student, even though others might consider them to be. There's ones that don't always listen. They're 2-5. As long as they're having fun, I count it as a win. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you can learn anything through there. And it takes so much mental exercise. I'm still working on it all the time. It takes so much mental exercise to not get upset, like to be a better version of yourself, to not get upset at your student and to really think through how do I help them learn? Like always reminding yourself that question, like, how do I help them learn? How do I help them learn? They're not listening to me. Okay. They're completely ignoring what I say. And then going back to, how do I help them learn? You know, not like why won't they stop doing this? Like, this is really annoying me. But like that creeps in your head always. I mean, we're human, you know? And then you just got to create the question. All right, take a step back. They're probably not trying to piss me off on purpose. And if they are, then it's something else. You know, it's something else that's causing that's making them want to do it. And the question is, as a teacher, is to try to figure out how to help them grow. And man, dude, it takes so much restraint. Holy shit. So I'm saying, dude, being a monk, my God, dude. Yeah, hell yeah, that's a lifetime thing. I'm not surprised that monks have to dedicate themselves to being completely enlightened, because us as a human species, we suck. We suck with that stuff. We're not programmed to be like understanding. We're not programmed to be empathetic. That's just not in our DNA and our biology. We have to train ourselves to it. It's crazy. Shamu, you've been in this stream before, haven't you? You came in like ages ago. My English and my music teacher were so passionate and really stuck with me. Yeah, passion resonates. That's why I say this all the time. The people I'm attracted to the most, whether it be like professional relationships or friends or romantic relationships, the one thing that's really crucial is that they're passionate about what they do. Be anything. God, it could be anything. Passion's just really important to me because it resonates with me. You know? Respect that. I don't care if you're passionate about heckin' being the #1 Arissa man, for example. If you're putting in the effort outside, you know, taking notebooks, taking notes, looking at the best, applying it, practicing, playing every day, making $0 while you do it, I have so much respect for you. As opposed to the person that just plays really well and does nothing to get better at what they do. Those people resonate with me big time. Big time. The hustlers, man. The hustlers out here. Always getting better. You still play Overwatch because it's the only thing you can do in SeaWorld. I'm glad they allow it in SeaWorld. Alright. Yo. How much have we raised for this? 72,000, by the way. We reached our 25% goal at the beginning of the stream, thanks to Mari for helping us reach our goal tonight. Big thank you. Big thank you to Mari. But yeah, so that's it. I guess that's the end of our talk. I feel like we touched on quite a bit tonight. I might have went on a tangent a little bit. But again, everything I said, that's just I'm just giving my perspective. My method of teaching, even though the way that I present it to you, because I'm really passionate about how I teach, might be like, yo, it's right. It's not 100% right. I know it's not. Not for everybody. That's why I'm saying it's always a process of learning and getting better. You know, a year from now, let's say I listen to what I said tonight a year from now. A lot of it I'll probably still resonate with. There's gonna be some stuff I'm gonna be like, I didn't know what I was talking about. That makes zero sense. So we're always getting better. Man, I used to scream at my students and chuck drumsticks at them. Got the work done though. Got shit done. Red, thank you for the 1,500 bits, man. That's a lot of bits, dude. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. You're still in school right now, aren't you? Yeah, you're in school. I feel like I ask him this every time. I always forget what he's learning. Thank you for the 1,500, though. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Do you guys like that sound effect, too, for the 1,500s? I haven't heard that in ages, man. Thank you. There was a sound when we would hit red bar. For those that were around for when we had the bit bar going. When we hit red bar, it was like war drums. It was like the default, but it was like scary. It was like... It was crazy. Plan on going back for education in the fall? Nice. Like for teaching? Or just to learn? They won't allow multi-million-dollar sanctions, but hey, as long as I can play Junkrat, I'll do okay. Nice. I wonder what Elo Shamu the Orca's in. You just don't learn that way? I feel that. I mean, especially for education, online teaching is kind of, you have to do your student teaching for sure and apply that. I'm saying teach it. It's something you learn over time. I get having to have certification, but man, I don't know. But thank you, man. Again, thank you for the 1500. That's gonna be going towards number one. That's going towards Elijah. So we're using a lot of the stuff to pay Elijah. So he's going to school for editing and stuff right now. He's just starting out, so he's I've talked to him a little bit. Seems like a good guy, so we'll see how the editing pulls out. Yeah. So we're using to support his school and stuff. Yeah, I am too. I really am too. Love that we get to help. So his first video should be ready tomorrow. He's also in band. He's I think he's a senior. He's a senior in high school. He's in band. He plays clarinet. So I'm really excited to help. Even after 3 years, and I'll say sub to your YouTube channel. Well, thank you. 3 years. Wait, Shammy, were you around when we were on YouTube? Like streaming on YouTube? Is that where I know you from? Can't have been that long ago. You think you were? Holy shit. Damn. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. During the streaming days. Yeah. Okay, I remember now. Yeah, the memes. Okay. That doesn't surprise me. A lot of memes on YouTube. All right. Let's finish up the stream, y'all. Thank you again to Red for the 1500 bits, man. I appreciate it a lot, dude, that you guys enjoyed the talk, and thanks for popping in. I'm so glad I had one of my drumline students in. Timing was impeccable. But it's good to talk about this stuff. The thing I know for a fact is that you got to treat students with respect as much as you expect you expect respect, if not more. You know, because you're there for them. As a teacher, you were there for them. And when you start thinking about it the other way around, when like the students are there so you can teach them, like you're doing them a service. I mean, you are, but at the same time, the students, it's a service to them, you know. It's a service to them. You gotta think about it like that way. Like you're there for them, not the other way around. You know, I don't know. That's my philosophy on it. Just be real. We spend so much time trying to figure out how to teach the right way, when in reality, you just got to be realistic. You just gotta be yourself, be transparent with your students, and work together to figure stuff out. That's it. Every student you have, you got to work with them. They got to work with you. You got to work with them to figure it out. And the more you make that, more you put that on the table, the more they realize that you're trying to help them. And then they open up a little bit more and you're able to actually do stuff. You got to open up too. So I don't know if anybody here teaches or you're looking for a teacher, make sure you consider that stuff, you know, especially professors in school, dude. Try to get a feel for what professors actually care what they're teaching you. Careful. You can figure it out in a couple days on what teachers are there to actually. For those that went through college, you guys know there's a difference between professors that actually want to give you something. They want to give you knowledge and like they want you to learn it. They actually care about it. And then there's the teachers that have content that they're getting paid to tell you what the content is. It's a big difference. Big difference between sharing knowledge and actually caring about giving knowledge to the students as honestly like a gift. You know. Pretty great. Good. All right. We're gonna close up stream tonight. Because I want to make sure I don't keep going over stream time. I got other stuff I want to focus on as well. YouTube content, guys. We're focusing a lot on the YouTube here coming up, but we're recording a lot of our content here live on stream. So check it out. We have there's 3 channels. Take a look in the about section. The important one, number 1, is our main channel and the highlight channel. The main channel is where we're putting on like the quality edits that are taking us days to work on. The highlighted channels are the ones that I'm doing in my free time, where I'm cutting up portions of the stream and trying to narrow it down as short as possible. So if you guys miss a stream, you guys can watch like the big point of each stream. So you can actually, you know, watch it and keep up with everything. So both channels are linked below. Then the last ones are VODs. These are just uncut, exported, because Twitch gets rid of our VODs after a month. They disappear into the void. So we're archiving all our VODs on YouTube. So if you ever want to see a VOD, it's going to be on there as well. You can subscribe if you want. I don't really care. It's more so I have it there and you guys can see it when they go away. So go check that out. It's really, if you guys like the stream and stuff, go check that out. Spooky mugs are coming back, boys. And we have a big promo featuring Purple, featuring Mari, and featuring Caroline on a fantastic promo for our channel's ghosty mugs. Our little logo mugs. If you haven't seen them, you'll see them during the promo. So keep an eye out for that. If you guys want to get a fantastic Christmas gift, you'll be able to get mugs for either you or a loved one or whatever, dude. And it's gonna, I go over what the proceeds in the mugs go towards, because it goes back in the stream, all of it. I'm not keeping any of the revenue. I'm using it for very Christmassy things. Okay. I'll talk about that more here in the future. Just know, if you haven't gotten yourself a mug and you want one, now's the time to get it. Okay. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. We have a morning stream tomorrow, which is listed as just chatting, but we'll see what we do. We might play Dark Souls since we didn't play it tonight. So tomorrow, 9 a.m., bright and early in the morning, guys, we're going to be streaming with some coffee for our coffee club at 9 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay. Have an awesome one, guys. Thank you again for the conversation. It literally, I love that you guys are here and contributing to the conversation about it too. I love that again, I'm just the person who happens to have the microphone. The conversation exists out in chat with everybody. So thanks for being part of it. I think it's important that we all talk about it, because none of us are 100% right, including me, on how to treat each other, but we can talk about it and try to get better as human beings. Okay, I'll see you later. Sleep tight, everybody. Make sure you tell somebody today that you appreciate them and make a positive impact, for them. Which I'm not even kidding. Go do it right now. Go message somebody you haven't messaged in a while that you appreciate a lot. Maybe somebody that you forgot to talk to in a long time. Message them right now, right after stream ends, and say, hey, something heartfelt. Like, honestly, something just real. Like, hey, you're just thinking about, whatever. Just want to say, I'm glad you're my friend, or I'm glad, maybe it's somebody you love, and you're like, I'm really lucky to have you. Maybe it's a parent or something. You'll make a positive impact. It'll make your day fantastic, right? All right. Chungus, boys.
Flip legit. Hey, we had a Twitch baby.
We did. Flip, thank you for the 9 months, man. Like how we went from heartfelt to Chungus. May the Chungus be blessed upon you all tonight, and have a fantastic one. I'll see you later. Stay tuned for the host, and have a Merry Christmas, I guess. I don't know. Happy December, everybody.